My name is Sydney and I'm going to be showing you how to replant your fiddle leaf fig tree. First things first, what do we need to replant our tree? Well, you need your pot that you're going to plant it in. So I'm replanting a fairly small tree, so I have this 9-inch planter. It's pretty simple. It's from Walmart. This is specially made for an indoor plant, so you want to make sure that whatever you have is not too big, because fiddle leaf fig trees actually like to be kind of compact, so you don't want anything too big for what they originally came in. So as you can see here, this one's not very big and the pot is not too big for it. So we have our pot, and I have some sharp scissors. I also have a little bucket here. This is in case I want to pull off any dead leaves or anything that I want to go into this little trash bucket. I also have a cup of water for after I pot it. I can, sorry, I'm outside and my neighbors just made a weird noise. I can water it when I'm done. And then I also have my soil. So I have a really big bag of soil. It's really big. So I have my soil down here, and I have a little measuring cup that I use to kind of scoop the soil in. So this lady's like yelling at her husband. It's really awkward. Anyways, so your fiddle leaf fig tree, as you can see, it's kind of droopy a little bit. It's very dry. I've had it in this container for a while now, and I haven't watered it or anything. So once I replant it or repot it and water it, it should perk up. These trees can be a little bit tricky. They're absolutely beautiful and they're so popular right now. I know myself, I've wanted one for so long, and they were kind of hard to find and they're really pricey, but thankfully we have a nursery right down the street from us, and she knows how popular they are, so she actually ordered a bunch of fiddle leaf fig trees, and I was so excited, so I went down there and got a couple. I got this little one, and I also have a bigger one inside that I'll probably replant at some point, but it's happy right now. So, but this one's really dry, the leaves are kind of droopy, and it needs to be repotted. Some quick facts about the fiddle leaf fig tree. They do prefer indirect light, so you want to keep it in an area where it will receive light. It doesn't really like the dark, so maybe like an east facing window is great. You don't want it in direct sunlight because it can burn the leaves. Another thing is that, again, it does like a compact space, so you don't want to get too large of a pot. And then also, if you notice brown spots on your leaves, that can be an indication of you're watering it too much or you're not watering it enough. So I have some examples, because this plant is very dry. It was already starting to brown the leaves, so I kind of just pruned it a little bit. This leaf is like really dry, and then here's another brown leaf right there. So those were the only leaves that were really brown. Since the leaves are fairly big, you do want to make sure that you clean the leaves. So you can use a damp cloth, clean damp cloth, and you can actually wipe the leaves to make sure that they're free of dirt, dust, or just anything that gets on the leaves. You want to make sure they're nice and clean. Also, you don't want to place it in a drafty place, so you don't want to place it next to a door or anything like that, because the wind can actually bother it. So that's another thing. You want to make sure that you turn your tree, so don't keep it in one spot for too long. Make sure you rotate it so that all the leaves can get some sun, get some light, and you'll make your tree happy. So let's start to remove it from the pot. So you want to check your pot and make sure there's no roots growing from the bottom, so you want to kind of like cut those away. I don't have that problem here, so I'm actually just going to stick my finger in the pot just to kind of loosen it, and it is fairly loose because it's really dry. Poor baby. So you want to make sure that you're grabbing it from the bottom, the base, because you don't want to like rip any leaves off or anything like that. So we've taken our plant out, and you can see it's just really dry. So I'm going to set that right there for a minute, and I'm going to begin to fill my pot with some soil. I have a really good potting mix. I got this from the nursery. It's just an all-purpose potting mix. It's got a great combination of things, good to use indoor and outdoor. So I just have this huge bag, and this is what I use to repot most of my plants. So I'm just gonna scoop some dirt into the pot. I just use a kitchen measuring cup. I don't have anything fancy. So I'm gonna fill it up to not even halfway. It's about 3 scoops, and this is a cup. Okay, and then you're gonna take your plant, and you want to inspect it. Kind of inspect the base a little bit. If there's some little dry leaves down here, so I'm just gonna take those off. Just gonna scoot them off the top. Just want it to be a very clean, neat transition. I'm gonna kind of like break up the roots a little bit just to kind of help them adapt to their new soil. You're not hurting it or anything. Gosh, this thing is so dry. Okay. So then you're gonna place your plant. You know what? I'm gonna do one more scoop. I want it to sit a little bit taller. Maybe 2. Alright, I think that's good. There's like a wasp flying around. Jesus Christ. Alright. That's better. Okay. So now we have this in the pot. And now I'm going to use a smaller scoop to fill in the sides. Just gonna start filling in the sides. I'm just using a smaller scoop because I don't want a whole bunch of dirt to fall over or anything like that. It's a lot of scoops. My hens are being really loud right now. They're communicating with each other. Some are under the house and some of them are in their pen. They're being rather loud. kind of push down a little bit. Make sure it's firm in there. So I do have a little bit of space over here, so I'm going to put one more scoop. Alright, so now we're going to water. And with the watering, you'll notice the soil kind of seeping down a little bit, so you may have to add a little bit more. And I'm only putting 1 cup of water just because I don't want to really soak it, because they don't need a whole lot of water, so I don't need to soak it or anything. I think that's plenty of soil. Nothing's really, it didn't really sink down too much. So I'm going to be placing this one in my bedroom, and I do have I have 2 east-facing windows, so this should get plenty of light, and you'll see these leaves kind of perk up and stand up nicely, and that's pretty much it. So you can pretty much keep your fiddle leaf fig in the same pot for a very long time. These trees can get very tall. I've seen trees that are 3 to 5 feet tall, and they're in the same pot that they were planted in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and took note of all the tips that I gave to you today. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. See you on the next video.